Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Halsey. In today's drawing session, we're going to simplify anatomy and figure drawing using basic shapes. And I'll be explaining this using my own experience as an artist. So let's begin. So, shapes. The easiest way to break down your figure drawing or anatomy is to think of each part as basic shapes. As you can see, shapes are used as building blocks. Everything can be simplified to a simple form. So with this in mind, you just want to make figures using the simple shapes. You can use different shapes put together to create different body types. And I prefer doing this so there's a contrast with the type of characters that you draw. Once you understand how to use basic shapes to create figures, you can then start adding a central line. As you can see, the central line creates a certain flow of movement with your character. This brings your character more to life. Once you're done with these basic shapes, you can try rounding off the edges of your drawing to give it a better form. Now when it comes to faces, I like to use a box instead of starting straight with the circle, because I find like the box gives me more structure. I focus more on dividing the box than dividing the circle, and that makes me pay attention to the face that I'm creating inside instead of the object that's around it. All of this is still basic shapes, and once I'm done with the face and I'm happy with it, I like to go and create some volume with the hair outside of the box. Give it some life. Now let's move on to having a reference. I always recommend having a reference for whatever you're drawing because it just makes life so much easier. My usual place for finding a reference is of course Pinterest. But if you can't find what you're looking for, try taking pictures of yourself. Now I've traced over this to show you the simple shapes that this can be in. From everything I told you, try to always simplify the form. Drawing is a process and it takes time and learning. You could be tracing bases, but eventually you'll figure out how to do a quick rough sketch like this. Usually whenever I'm drawing, I always look at my reference and I look at the shape of the figure. Pay close attention to what you're drawing. It doesn't have to look perfect, especially when you're doing your first rough sketch, because thereafter I turn down the opacity, put a new layer, and I start making a little neater rough sketch of things. I don't go into heavy detail because this is my second rough sketch and it is to simplify further and add those little bit of details of what I am drawing. The more you draw, the easier that figure drawing will come to you. Remember, everything is still just basic shapes. You're just adding details and you're rounding off the edges to form this drawing. You don't have to go and put in every single detail. Still keep it simple. Anatomy does not need to be very difficult. As long as you break it down and remember that everything is just simple shapes, you can make anything. Then once I'm done with this rough draft, I like to go and exaggerate things and sort out my proportions using a liquify tool. It's a drawing, so it's nice to exaggerate certain parts, play around with your proportions, make it dramatic, make it crazy, or keep it simple. Do what makes you happy. Okay, so now let's recap all we've learned. Shapes are like building blocks. They can make anything. We use shapes to create different body types. Once you know how to create your figure, you can add in the central line. This helps bring your drawing to life with your poses and movement. And lastly, have a reference and use it to help you with your figure drawing. And remember, practice makes perfect. So if you would like to get better at figure drawing, you need to practice. Try finding some crazy poses and try drawing them for fun. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much! Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and please do let me know if this was helpful and if you'll need an extended version on anything. Well, until next time, stay tuned.